We'll call to order the HVAC IAQ Building Committee meeting for April 10th, 2026.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Okay. Back to the agenda. Too many tabs open here. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from March 27th, 2026?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 27th, 2026.
I'll second.
Having a second, any discussion or modifications to the minutes as presented?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you. Project updates, phase 1. Osborne Hill.
Let me share my little log that you asked about. 1 second. I mean, it's pretty clean as of last week's or last call as well, but we have a lot coming up this week with the break. So let me know if you can see the screen, and hopefully it's zoomed in enough.
I can see the screen. It's zoomed in enough.
Okay. Okay, so items in white, we had adjusted the dates due to young developers and the April break. So again, we're going to be at Fairfield Woods, where we have one more cap to install, and we have those pitch boxes that had to be the insulation cut we discussed last time. So we are on their schedule for next week to get all manpower out for the whole week to get this work completed. And I'm also pushing to get that stair tower demobilized and removed by Friday of next week. So they should be wrapping up, and they won't need that stair tower on site anymore. Same thing with the rooftop crossover ladders. We engaged with Ferguson. We were trying to get them out earlier, but they have manpower for us for next week to just add the grounding loop from the new crossover tower to the existing that we installed through the summer. That's at Fairfield Woods. Also at Fairfield Woods, we one thing I don't have on here actually is the we're going to be painting the underside of the old existing vestibule ceiling, the white that we kind of did the stucco patch when we put the expansion on the vestibule out. So that work is going to be done as well next week, since we have some good clear weather. So I think they're coming out. We're watching the weather. Monday showed a chance of rain. So if it's not Monday, it'll be Tuesday. They'll be out there painting that area. North Stratfields. So again, we have a handful of punch list items that young developers is going to be addressing. That was reviewed by our team with SPA. They are working to get Suprema's warranty initiated. I had a call with them on Wednesday, or was it Tuesday? I think it was Wednesday this week. They had to send them out a couple more pictures to Suprema to kind of get this thing satisfied. Again, looking to get that work done and that stair tower removed as well by next Friday. So we're completely demobilized from the roof. Crossover ladder, same thing with Ferguson. It really should be a 1 to 2 day operation for all 3 schools with Ferguson, based on some have a couple more crossover ladders, some don't. So we're trying to just get that hammered out. And then the understage air quality. So this is what we were talking about as everyone was kind of signing on. So Jesse got out there last week and discovered that pinhole leak that was spraying water all over the underside. We haven't received an official RFI response yet saying what to do or what not to do. But I think, as we were discussing kind of off the call, with that condition being apparent, I think that was probably the generator of the mold that we saw. So I don't know how the team wants to handle it, but I imagine we close this out, and if it becomes an issue down the road, it's addressable via maintenance or something when the time comes.
Yeah, I think Angela said he sent the crew. This is an existing heating pipe or a water that was insulated, right. And I think Angela sent their crew and they fixed it.
They did, yeah. They did. So it's been remediated. We're just saying, Amar, it probably, if that had been leaking for months, that was probably what gave us that mold that wasn't there you know, a year ago or whatever. So we're thinking that it's not an issue related to the HVAC
No, I
project.
understand that, but
Yeah.
has the mold been cleaned up? Do you know?
Yeah, the mold was cleaned up.
Okay,
That's my
it's all
understanding.
right.
The mold
So
was
that-
cleaned up.
okay, so if that's
Yeah,
the case,
let's keep an eye on it. It could have been from
Yep.
banging the pipes because they were tying in, you know, the heating valves. I don't know where the closest tie-in for one of those was because there's radiation behind the stage. You tell me. I'm not that in tune to the smaller details of the plan.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
right
and
now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it seems like, my recommendation would be to, now that the pipe is fixed, maybe during break, pull some of the stuff out from under there, so you just get some of the portable dryers under there that the school uses to just dry out that area. And after that, just see what it's like, because it was very hot and very humid underneath that stage. So if that's been going on for a while, then that's certainly my, not guess, but my best thought of what's causing everything. Hopefully it goes
Seems
away.
like a bit of smoking gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sal, I guess the question, just follow up is with Angelus, is what remediation was done for the moisture? I mean, they obviously sent somebody under to fix the physical pipe. So the hope is that was remediated as far as drying it as well, right?
Yeah, after this call, Angelus is off today it's Good Friday for him. I'll get a hold of the custodial supervisor, and we'll get some dryers there for the break next week, and yeah, we'll do that. We'll get that all pulled out and make it get it dried out.
So Tim, we'll leave it on your punch list as a yellow, and we'll talk about it one more time in 2 weeks just to see if there's anything else going on. But it sounds like it's we have reality, and the FPS is on top of it all, so it would fall outside of the project's scope. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let me go back to my screen.
Yep, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so moving on to Osborne. So door 160, we were slated for this week. There was, I think we spoke last time, there's conflicts with the spring camp. So I talked with Sal and Mark offline, and we're going to go ahead and do this work right when school gets out in June, because right now we have, there should be a half day on June 16th. So if we start either that afternoon or the next morning on the 17th, it'll give us about 3 to 4 days before their summer camp starts at Osborne, which will get us through the heavy demo and dusty work. So we should be able to get through that. And then we'll just, we'll probably be just doing some finished stuff, like a little bit of paint touch up, flooring patching. So nothing that we can't do if there's like occupants in the building, but it would be just a lot less hazardous. So we've already discussed it with the trades. There's no issue there. We already had all the door frame materials ready to go. So that's not an issue. And then also, again, next week, we have Ferguson swinging by Osborne to also ground those couple crossovers that we put up. So that's it for phase 1.
Is there any tab work left to do this summer?
We have to do a spring. They have to come back. Yeah, they have to come back. Mark probably has better info on that as far as when we're going to engage them. But I think it was going to be sometime in May or June to bring them out to start when the cooling kicks in to do the balancing or testing for that.
Yeah, there's 2 things left. We got to do the cooling at all 3 schools, and then we have a 10-month walk that will be scheduled probably early June. So we catch the teachers, make sure that there's no ongoing issues that need to be addressed prior to the final, in the final months of the warranty.
Okay, so the only things that are pending this summer thus far is the tab, this walkthroughs aforementioned, and then the Osborne Hill door. Right, everything else that we know of will be done in the spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 schools, obviously not Tomlinson, but okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on your side?
No, I can roll into Tomlinson though. So Tomlinson, Right now, we're working in the main gym south side. Currently, we are just wrapping up the drywall installation for the second side of the soffit. And we have ductwork slated to go in Monday. So we have painters right now painting in the auxiliary gym, and they're going to be moving over to doing the ceiling work there. They're going to be moving over to Project Adventure next week to start going to that ceiling. And then once they're finished there, we should be tracking them back into the main gym, which will probably be the week after, which definitely will be the week after spring break or April break, to finish up the south side of the gym ceiling. So by the third week of April, so we should have everything, all ceilings covered and painted out. All big spiral ductwork will be in, and we will be kind of just resorting and getting ready to do the next batch of work, which is going to be when school gets out, for all the mezzanine ductwork demolition and all the other steel we have to do to get the units on the roof. So on schedule, in good shape, and moving along nicely so far.
Great.
Okay. Joe, Rodney, any questions on any of the updates or existing work?
Nope. Good to hear on schedule.
Yeah. All right. Pending contingency log. Can't read that.
I know.
Come on, Mark, you gotta learn.
All right. Should be good now. This is Tomlinson. We had 2 updates on Tomlinson. We have 4, 5, and 6 in the queue for approval. The 2 updates on Tomlinson are the revised amounts for the painting of the gym ceiling and trusses in the main gym and the auxiliary gym. And then we had a request for painting the walls in the aux gym for 14.3. The other ones, there are no new ATPs for this week.
Mark, you said there's revisions to the cost. We had talked about the trusses being painted and some of the ceiling work.
Correct.
Those numbers. So those numbers are refined,
Revised
up,
numbers.
down. What's that?
Down. They were revised down.
Okay. Okay. Either of you guys have any questions on his log? They're all upcoming, right?
No.
Okay.
And then I believe there's 2 changes on Osborne Hill. No changes. Woods, no changes. We will be seeing ATP 57, which is a bond reconciliation, part 2. And I just took this amount of money from the original bond reconciliation. So we still have monies encumbered for bond reconciliation at Woods.
That's actually on your ATP list for Woods.
Yes.
Okay.
And then at North Stratfield, there was RFI 181, which is a transfer grill going from the APR onto the stage. And it's not at the stage or platform level. It is up near the roof level. So this is just for potential added cost to support the existing masonry out there. This transfer grill was needed. The hole was made and temporarily supported during the summer, and this is just the permanent fix for it.
And that's it. Where? Osborne?
North Stratfield. And this is just to encumber some money for it.
Okay. Okay.
And that is all with the updates on the pending logs.
So you're proposing any, what are the ATP proposals for today?
We have 5 of them.
Mhm.
You can't read it. We have at Fairfield Woods, we have the bond reconciliation, which is part 2, in the amount of $578. At North Stratfield Roof, we have the give back of the roof patching allowance. It's a $30,000 allowance, and we are giving it, Gilbane is giving it all back. And then we have 3 at Tomlinson, the painting of the Aux Gym, the painting of the walls at the Aux Gym, and then the painting of the trusses at the main gym and the Aux Gym. And then the Project Adventure painting, wall painting. So we have 3 there. 2 of them are estimates. The ATP 4 is fixed.
Okay, so I'll start with, I'll make a motion to approve ATP 056 for Fairfield Woods bond reconciliation. BP 05A, 07A, 09A, and 26A coming from contingency in the amount of $578.
I
Second.
will second that motion.
Any discussion on the bond reconciliation?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So just calling out on North Stratfield, we don't have to vote on a return to contingency, so lovely to see that. So Tomlinson. I'll start it by I'll make a motion to approve 004 paint steel trusses in main and auxiliary gym coming out of contingency in the amount of $12,858.
I'll second.
All right, discussion. This is the additional work we spoke about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Those trusses so they've been inspected. We've determined this incorporates any removal of old paint, cleanup, whatnot. Tim's nodding yes.
Yes, Jeff, it does paint prep, all that to make sure it's good to go.
Questions, Rodney or Joe? Anybody?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor of 004?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Moving on to ATP 005, RFI 009, main gym soffit clarification. Coming out of contingency, it's an estimate in the amount of $6,992. I believe you covered this one last time. Do you want to just revisit what that is, Tim?
Yeah. Contract drawings showed a soffit going right down the middle of the track. When we actually opened up the existing soffits where the existing ductwork was, the way the structural setup was for the door, there was no way to do a single soffit with a single layer of studs. So we essentially have to do 2 soffits, one on each side, separate from each other. They will connect to the bottom of the existing wood, but it's not going to be one single run of framing. So there's just additional costs for framing, drywall, and additional labor in there. That, again, it's estimated. We expect it to go down, but we wanted to just get out in front of this as we're in that gym right now, trying to keep schedule.
This incorporates the painting of the soffit as well?
Painting is already included because they would have had to paint 2 sides of something already, but it's more of the framing and time that it took to rebuild the 2 sides.
Did I get a second? I don't remember if I did.
Yes.
This was discussion. Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other questions, Joe, Rodney?
No.
No.
Okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Lastly, in Tomlinson, ATP number 006, Project Adventure Room wall painting. That would be coming out of contingency. It's an estimate in the amount of $14,303.
I'll second.
All right, having a second, any discussion?
Please explain.
So I'll explain that one. We had asked, FPS asked Gilbane to get us a painting quotation for the walls. And we're assuming that the painting that was going to be taking place was going to take place during the summer. That schedule got accelerated. So we don't have funding that we can do that. And we put this forward since the painting of the trusses was better than had been expected. We were hoping that you may be inclined to do that painting in the Project Adventure for us. If not, we're totally giving it up to you. Just ask if you'd be willing to do that, and understand if you wouldn't be.
Okay. Thoughts on painting, Rodney or Joe?
No.
No.
No thoughts or no? This is a preliminary vote of no.
We'll
Well,
wait for when you call the vote.
The vote comes in a minute. No, it's just, I do.
We have the opportunity to paint while it's being disrupted. It's more of a problem because they'll be working this summer. We don't want to get in their way. It's a matter of how the timing worked out, and we, with this winter beat up with snow removal, we're tapped out in our accounts. If it was how we originally understood the painting to be occurring, we would have new monies come July, but it's all a matter because it's being done next week.
I understand and appreciate, but it's just, we keep getting these asks. Can you please do this? Please do that. If these projects get audited, how are we going to explain that we painted an adventure room? It's not really part of the HVAC IAQ project. Those are my thoughts.
So Sal, what is your path forward alternatively? You're saying there's no budget money from
this fiscal year, which runs through June 30th.
June 30th, right?
So had it been
So
delayed,
it's a matter
there's
of
money allocated next quarter or next calendar year.
next fiscal, and that's why we asked for the number. But our understanding is that painting would be in the way of the continued work, but it's a untimely ask, and we just threw it out there since the spring break is next week. And if the answer is no, the answer is
can
no.
we just remind the Fairfield Board of Education that this is not a piggy bank going forward?
Okay, I'll pass that back to Angeles.
Okay.
How disruptive is it going to be if it's done in June?
It's actually July.
July.
then that's a question for you.
Yeah, I don't see that to
Sorry.
be an issue if you do it this summer. If you want to defer it, paint is paint. It's not going to be occupied. And just FYI, we are painting the ceiling in that space too. That's part of our contract work. So this is more of an agency to paint the walls while we're there and we get it all done. So yes, we can defer it to the summer. But just FYI, as it relates to the base scope for the project, Rodney, we are painting the ceiling of that space.
Yes,
The project
I understand that, but it's just the principle of the thing.
No,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, we can defer it to the summer. I don't see that to be an issue.
Are you painting it anyway in the summer?
No, we're painting it next week, my understanding, because we have the space now and we're doing work there. But we can go back in the summer because the school is unoccupied. So we can go back there
No,
and just.
my question is, once the school gets the funds, you're going to be painting it. You may be painting it anyway. Is that a correct statement, or they hire their own painters?
I mean, our painter is there if they decide to. This quote here is from our painter.
No, I understand.
I don't think Gilbane would be doing it. Right, that's not part of FPS. You guys have your own painter, Sal, right?
Yes. That's,
Right,
yeah, that's,
we're trying to coordinate with the project painting. That's why we asked for a quote from
Yeah.
their painter
exactly.
that we can. But the time,
Is there a
the time
potential-
changed. We didn't expect them to be painting everything next week. That's
Right.
not what we were originally told. So we're just at this point, we're not ready to do it.
Is there a potential cost savings in having this painted next week, or are we looking at an unknown if it goes out to bid for the summer?
Yeah,
painting?
I mean,
Another
yeah, another mobilization, another scaffold, etc. I actually
Section.
just got the price in literally just now. The adjusted price on that one drops from 14.3 to 11,133, if it makes any difference. But I have a more firm number right now that just came through. So, I mean, yeah, we save a mobilization for sure.
Protection.
But protection.
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding.
Yeah, it is.
Already.
They're full height walls, just so you're aware. So we have a lift to paint the ceiling, and they intended to use the same lift to paint the walls. So yeah, there's efficiencies there to do it now while we're mobilized. To come back later, it's probably the price most likely will go up. He has to remobilize that lift, put the protection again. So we could, like I said, it's totally up to you. The price is a decent price, and it's an efficient way of doing it. So that's really where it's at right now. It does make sense to do it now, not to put any pressure on anybody.
I'm thinking the taxpayers might want to see some efficiencies.
Yeah,
in pricing.
that's really, we're just describing the circumstance, that's all.
Mark, what is the contingency at Tomlinson right now?
It's probably pretty healthy.
We're down 60, 71 from 326. So we're talking probably 250.
That's
240?
remaining contingency, 255, 452.
I had a list below. I was doing that in
I
my
mean,
head.
if it makes sense, I'm happy to split it with you. I'll fund half of it out of our GMP, if you're concerned with those funds. I mean, ultimately, it's your money anyways, by the way.
Again, I mean, there's Amar. I didn't say I was voting against it. It's just the principle.
No, I get it.
And
No, I totally-
it's $11,000. It's not gonna kill us.
Right.
But
no, I totally understand, Rodney. Totally understand. I'm just describing like a.
So stop selling me.
Oh wow! All right.
I haven't
What
had
he's
my
selling
second
over
cup
here
of
is that I
coffee
can
yet.
do it. Can you do it for 9? Can you do it for 7?
I'm not asking for more. Just FYI. I'm just trying to do I'm trying to do the right thing. That's all. But that's I'll leave it there. I'll stop.
Tim already opened that can of worms earlier in the meeting.
I know.
Tim, can you repeat the revised amount, please? It was 11,000.
Yeah, I got 11,133 with the markups.
With your markups.
Yeah, with ours, yeah.
Well, this is an estimate anyway, so we doesn't. Worst case is we have $3,000 coming back when we do that.
Right.
When the work's
Right.
done.
It's already going the other direction technically.
All right. So we'll call to a vote. All in favor of ATP 006 Project Adventure Room wall painting out of contingency, estimated amount of $14,303.
Aye.
Aye. Pressing on. Rodney, you got your calculator ready?
Yes, sir. All right. Gilbane has 5 invoices for Osborne, North Stratfield Roof, Woods, and Tomlinson. Invoice numbers 24, 15, and 007, all dated 2/28/2026, in the total amount of $1,122,021.90.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion on Gilbane's packet of invoices?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up, BL Companies has 2 invoices for Woods and Tomlinson. A bunch of numbers, but 0.34, 0.16 for the invoice numbers, both dated 3/27/2026, in the total amount of $2,780.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? BL Companies invoices.
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay. Colliers also has 2 invoices. Invoice number 1151499 and 1162196. The first one's dated 2/28/2026. The second one is 3/31/2026, for the total amount of $14,052.43.
I'll second.
I'll second the motion. Here's invoices. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Here's invoices. Aye. All right, motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
And finally,
Lastly,
Van Zelm's tab invoice, invoice number 54620, dated 3/27/2026, in the total amount of $2,415.58.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passes unanimously. Okay, let's go. All right. Moving on through that. All right, old business. 2 items left. RTU 19/2022. That didn't get covered in the updates.
Yep. PO will be issued. We found the money. It was a Gilbane's. Their original got double booked, so we found the money's there. So we do have money in the town's accountant system. So the PO for RTU 19, 20, and 22 was issued, or will be issued shortly.
And then that work is slated. Do we have a target timeline?
I believe it was 6 to 8 weeks out for the lead time.
Material?
So that money's coming out of the town budget?
No.
I didn't think
The
so.
accounting of the projects, all 6, 8 of them, there were POs written, the 2 POs written to Gilbane, one for their original contract that included the construction general requirements and general conditions. And then it got double booked and then they wrote it for the full amount of the GMP, which included the general requirements and general conditions again.
Yeah, this was voted on before, and the monies were allocated. There's just some financial or accounting with the PO issues.
And
Thanks, Jeff.
I do have a listing of the POs that I'll be going through to make sure if there's no other accounting errors on the town side.
Tim, as a general ask, I know that this isn't this is not Gilbane work, but could I ask you to include on your spreadsheet those tasks, those items that we've talked about, so the RTUs, RTUs at Woods, and then even the other the tab, the walkthroughs. I guess those, you have the door already, but those 2 activities, just so we can keep them in a single list.
Yep.
Again, so I know you're doing a little bit of administration. It's not your direct work, but it'll be helpful.
It's all good.
I think to have it on one place.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mark can do it. I don't care, but just update the spreadsheet. The other old business item I had was the fire systems at Woods. Same ask, by the way, Tim.
Yep.
Same response. Part of the PO was issued. The Sonatrol has it, and they will have the items ordered prior to and on site prior to June 1. For the work.
A little.
How long is it
how long?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Who had the question?
Rodney.
No, I was just going to comment that.
How long is it anticipated?
Go ahead, Rodney. Yeah, there's a lot of latency. I'm gonna turn off my video. I'm having some serious delays. Go ahead.
Okay, how I forgot the question. How long is it?
Lead time in the
anticipated taking to install that?
They were always anticipating doing it over the summer.
The entire summer, or
no? This summer, the
no,
summer of 26.
I know the entire summer of 26.
I believe that's
a month of it. How long?
Yeah, I do not know the duration of the work, but
thank you.
I know the fire marshal wanted all devices in hand prior to start of the work in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah. My issue, and Sal, you're on the call, so it has to be directed to you since Angelus isn't here. But I'm going to pun intended here. He pulled the fire alarm and the urgency around this back when we voted for this, and now it's been weeks have gone by, and the product's just being ordered now. So I either question the urgency at the time, or there's a huge risk on the project if this stuff isn't in place, because the fire marshal wouldn't approve the work until everything was in hand, and now we're on mid-April.
Not to throw anybody under the bus, but we had a difficulty in turning over the PO, and offline, Mark can explain that to you. I'm not. I 100% understand.
Yeah, well, so that's under the there's a big risk. Yeah, no, there's a big risk to the project then. So that's
right.
I don't know how quickly material is going to get delivered and inventoried and staged.
Right. I don't want to. The reason for the delay, I'd rather take it offline instead of in a public session. If you
No, I
don't mind.
understand. There was a PO delay. I just calling it out that there's one of those two things is either one of those two truths is a truism. So hope it's probably the fact that there's a big risk on the project right now. So I guess hopefully you guys are managing that from a standpoint of getting this material ordered as ASAP.
Yeah.
Getting the products in place.
Right.
So you can get your building permits and such from the fire marshal. Okay.
Understood and appreciate your angst about the whole issue.
All right. Any other old business? I'm scanning the
No.
video. Okay. Hearing none. Any new business? I have none.
I have none.
Okay. Hearing none. I will make a motion. Well, just the next scheduled meeting is April 24th, so we have a 2 weeks. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Sorry about the tea time, Sal.
He can still make it. He's got 3 minutes. It's just push hard on that pedal.
Yeah, Friday's not my normal golf day, Rodney.
Oh.
All right.